Oh, it's a beautiful green day here in Neenah, Wisconsin. I'm going into the garage. My workout today is gonna be green. Now I need to go into this car right here. Hopefully it's open. And I need to take back to the video store a movie. And where is it? I think it's in the back seat. I don't remember right. There it is. Perhaps the most depressing movie I ever seen in my life. Requiem for a Dream. It's going into the green fanny pack to be transported back to family video. I also have my green camera, and I'm going to put that to use later today as I do some jumping rope. Put that right there for now on the DVD player. Okay, now I got a digital stopwatch here, and I'm going to take that along with me on my run. I also have a green magic marker. Now I am thinking about renting a movie at the video store today, and this is in the new release section. So it's a movie that came out not long ago, but I'll do a little doodling on my arm here first. This movie is about a society where science is advanced enough where people basically can live forever, and they have digital stopwatches on their arms to show them exactly how much time they have left to live. Now, there. So now, according to my arm, I have 24 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds to live. And this movie's called In Time. And I want to get that movie just because for years and years and years now I've been talking about how time is all we have. This little watch counts up. This little marker on my arm isn't really doing anything. But it does kind of make me realize that I do have to live for today. Now, I'm guessing when I start jumping rope and turning on the green camera, I might have a lot to say about time. I'm about to start up the watch again. I've made it to family video successfully. The most depressing movie of all time, Requiem for a Dream, is in the 24-hour drop box. In Time is going into the fanny pack along with an empty cigarette carton. This is the first time on one of my runs that I've found an empty cigarette carton. I mean, it's bad enough people are leaving their wrappers all over creation. I got about 6 or 7 of those in my pocket. So that means I have a lot of writing to do after this trip. But first I need to make it home, and hopefully I'll make it home in good time. The clock on my arm has not budged a second, so it looks like I still have a day to live. I've been thinking a lot as I run, and a lot of times I'll have my camera out when I do my running. That's a little bit bouncy, and I'm thinking anybody that would watch that video would get motion sick and throw up. So I'm going to start the stopwatch and start the camera and start running. Well, I made it just in time. And now the real fun begins. Green is the color of endurance, stamina, and constitution. Running is good for the constitution. Walking is good for the constitution. And jump roping is good for the constitution. Oh, I have some additions. Hopefully I'll get a chance to watch that today with my lady. There is my cigarette carton. First one of those I found in a long time. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cigarette packs. So that's 7 pages of letters that I have to write because of this Green Day. Oh, sorry. I gotta keep my favorite cigarette box of all time. Timeless Time cigarettes. What would you do if you only had 24 hours to live? I think it's time to think about that out loud.
jumps a minute. That's where I'm starting out at. When I'm all done jumping today, I'll have to see how fast I'm going at the end of the workout. My guess is it's closer to 118 or 120. Now, I spent the first good 3 or 4 minutes jumping rope without saying a gosh darn thing. My guess is that some casual people that might have stumbled across this video, maybe watched 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and then their attention span was maxed and they had to go on to something else. YouTube is full of very, very interesting and wonderful things. It's full of kittens, it's full of puppies, it's full of people streaming video games, it's full of recipes on how to make perfect baked potatoes. Jeez, I bet you I could even find out how to build a rickshaw on YouTube. I might do that someday. I was in the process of building a rickshaw for the sugar booger when suddenly my ankles decided to take a digger on me. But now that the prelude is done and the dramatic effect of the music and the ticking clock together, I think that is about the best introduction to a Green Day speech that I could give. The clock is ticking. Now, I don't think it can be seen on camera because my camera is not very high def. But I took my green magic marker today and I drew a clock on my arm, basically like a digital readout. I ran to the video store and rented a movie that I saw a few minutes of at work. Sometimes the employees at work will bring in a video that they rented for the kids to watch. And the movie that they brought in was called In Time. Now, I talk about time a lot, I think about time a lot, and I write about time an awful lot, because in the end, time is all we have. Right now, I'm wasting my good time. I can't really waste time, but I'm spending my good time here in the garage jumping rope in front of the camera. And I'm doing that for a lot of reasons. I think it's good for the heart. I think it's good for the body. I really think it's good for my mind too. For some reason, bouncing up and down like this kind of slows my mind down and lets me think. I think when your heart's about ready to explode, your brain kind of slows down a little bit. But anyway, the kids were watching this movie called In Time, and it has that guy, I think Justin Timberlake. Is that his name? Yeah, I think it's Justin Timberlake. He's the guy that brought sexy back. You know, I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah, I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. Well, the heart attack is another reason I'm spending some time with my green camera and my jump rope. You always hear those stories about the guy that jogs each and every day, you know, jogs like 100 miles, and in the middle of his jog, he up and dies of a heart attack. And then all the people that smoke cigarettes and eat cheeseburgers and sit on the couch collectively laugh at that guy. See? When it's your time, it's your time. Well, my lady, who I love more than life itself, asked me for a birthday present. Her birthday is almost a month away. Her birthday is on Halloween, October 31st. She asked that I would go in to go and get my testosterone checked. And I thought that was a very interesting request because recently I just canceled an appointment to get my testosterone checked. So, great minds think alike. What can I say? I'm getting to be an old guy now. As cool as it is to watch Rocky in his 60s, you know, beat the crap out of people 1/3 his age, I don't think I'm doing quite as well as Rocky. I don't think I could say, you know what, I'm going to apply for a professional boxing license today and go and make a life for my family by putting up my dukes. They would say, sir, you're too old and you're too brittle. And I'm wondering if that music is going to be too loud. Yeah, I bet it is. But I can't stop. Hopefully, people that watch this video are good at reading lips. Now, back to the testosterone. I wanted to check my testosterone just to see what my level was. After you reach a certain age, the amount of testosterone in a male body kind of goes on a decline. Like, I was curious to see as if I was a couple quarts low of testosterone. Because, well, I'm getting to be kind of soft in my old age. I don't feel like beating people up anymore. I don't feel like getting into scraps. I'm still a fighter, but I'm definitely more a lover than a fighter these days. And hopefully that helps by turning the volume down a little bit. So I was just curious. Now, my milady is interested in testing my testosterone for different reasons. She, of course, likes to spend some time on the internet like I do. And she has found that I have a lot of the characteristics, the genetic markers, so to speak, of a person that is more likely to suffer from heart disease. Those include my bald head, which I am not too proud of. I am not happy with my bald head. I'm taking vitamin D, but so far it's not helping. My head is getting bald. Also, and since I messed up, I'll show the camera. This is my left ear. Hopefully it's not too gross. Ew, gross. But there is a crease apparently right here on my left ear, and that is also a genetic marker for heart disease. Some of the other markers have to deal with the ring finger. Notice the length of my ring finger on this hand, and notice the length of my ring finger on this hand. For some reason, they're different. Also, I have ear hair. Ugh. And apparently, having ear hair is another sign of, yep, you could have a heart attack. So let's go over the list. I'm bald, have a creased ear, my fingers are funny lengths, and I have ear hair. So there's a couple other of these signs, these warning signs that you might be a victim of heart disease. Those also include, since it's green snot. If I stopped jump roping and farmer blew a big loogie onto a white napkin, it would be kind of clear color. My boogers are not green, they are clear. So I guess I'm good there. Another one is bad breath. Right now my breath smells like green Powerade, and I don't think that's a bad smell. I've never really had bad breath. But my lady's heart is a very delicate thing, and worry and stress do not do a heart good. I know there's been times in my life that have been a lot more stressful than others, and you can feel that in your heart. So I said yes. I will call up the doctors and see if the insurance can cover testing. But I'm not going to get the testosterone test. That's just another mark of you're a victim for heart disease. If your testosterone is low, you're a guy, you are likely to have heart disease. Like women have a lot of trouble with heart disease. I'm guessing it's because they probably don't have as many testosterone molecules in their body as the guys do. Testosterone is good for keeping the arteries clear. so that the blood can flow around the body without those pesky roadblocks stopping the blood from getting where it needs to go. So instead of, seeing if I have another symptom, I believe in facing my problems head on. So I said, well, why don't I just go and get tested to see if my heart is healthy? And she was all about that. Now that got me thinking. There was this episode of The Cosby Show that I saw many years ago. And it was an episode where Heathcliff Huxtable went into the doctors, because he was a doctor himself, to go get tested to see how his heart was. If you remember, Dr. Huxtable loved to eat hoagie sandwiches. He loved to drink copious amounts of orange soda. He liked potato chips. Well, what can I say? Dr. Huxtable is a smart man. He's a smart doctor. Sometimes you gotta live a little bit in order to have life be lived. But I remember him being on a treadmill with electrodes on his chest, and he was walking on the treadmill and he was doing some goofy, fancy little moonwalk, and the nurses were laughing. And then they started up the treadmill and he started running. And he was sweating, kind of like I'm sweating now. And after a while, he got to the point where he was cooked. He was done. He couldn't run anymore. And the nurses and the doctor said, "You did very good." But apparently there was another guy that did better. And of course, Dr. Huxtable asked how old that guy was. And I believe he was in his 70s. I haven't seen this episode in probably 20 years, so don't quote me on that. But I think he was in his 70s. So Dr. Huxtable jumped back on the treadmill and tried to run some more. Didn't go very well. Now, I could take this video into the doctor's office and say, "Hey, look at me, doctor. I'm jumping rope for 45 minutes. I'm talking the entire time. I'm jumping rope at a moderate to fast pace. I think I'm in great shape. I don't need to have that test." Well, that's kind of foolish. The thing is, I've noticed myself, where I can jog for forever and I can jump rope at this comfortable pace for forever. If I decided to pick it up, and double my speed, I bet you I couldn't do this for 45 minutes. We'll see how long I can go. When I'm done with this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sprint. That means I'm going to jump rope as fast as I can for as long as I can. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this for at least 3 minutes. That would be impressive. Most sprinters, if they can go, sprints are usually done in 9 or 10 seconds. So, I'm definitely not as good a shape as I used to be when I was a younger man. I think I put on a little weight. I think that is one of my big problems. If I lost 15 pounds, I think things would be better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure to try to keep exercising every day. Take my vitamin D, because I think if my hair grows back, that'll solve all the world's problems. I'll be so happy. I'll have hair. And then I will let my happiness reign upon the world, and I will make it a better place. I can't hear any music anymore. There it is. Maybe I turned it down too much. But this is an amazing idea. I didn't know if my cheap $25 Walmart DVD player was going to be able to play music or not. But look at that. I'm on track 5 out of 12. And it keeps track of the time the song is. So if I want, I can see how many jumps I do in a minute. That's just fantastic. And I suppose I could be quiet and then let the good people watching enjoy the music. But not today. Now, I don't know if my sweat bath here is going to remove the green magic marker that I have on my arm. I drew 24 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds on my left arm. And all this thinking about, having a sudden heart attack, we had a very kind of sad moment last night as we were laying in bed. If one of these times I'm pushing my lady in the sugar booger in the little red wagon and I have a heart attack and collapse, I'll be laying face down in the street and little Charlotte will think that I'm pretending to nap and she'll say, "Wake up, Jerry! Wake up!" And seeing as I'm having a heart attack, I won't be able to wake up and it'll be very, very, very sad. So I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I have responsibilities to my lady and her little one and our little one that's safe and warm inside her tummy. Now, if I did have only 24 hours to live, I don't think I'd be jumping rope. I think I would be using my camera though to leave a message behind for my little one when they were older. I mean, right now, that baby is so safe and so warm and in paradise, It's gotta be good to be in the womb. I mean, you get to sleep as much as you want, it's all you can eat, it's comfortable. Man, it's gotta be great, In the world outside, even though it's a beautiful, warm, and sunny day, sometimes the world out here can be really cold, and it can be really mean, and it can be really cruel. And I really want my little baby to know that I did everything each and every day to try to make the world a little bit better place. I mean, I really never dreamed. Well, that's the biggest lie ever. I've always dreamed that I would have a little one. And then I could, my actions would mean a lot more because they might see firsthand the struggles that I go through to try to make the world a better place. I guess I've dreamed about it. I just never actually believed that dream would come true. But it has. A few days ago, I got to hear my baby's heartbeat. And that was the best visit to the doctor's office I've ever had in my life. And I've been to the doctor's office a few times. I was there when my brother had his stroke. And they were basically using my brother as a guinea pig, trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong, but it didn't really. It's kind of after the fact, I wasn't going to help him recover. They just were curious to see what happened to him. A young man having a stroke at 18. So I've had a lot of negative experiences with the doctors. And the doctors, of course, told my mom that she would never walk again. And ooh, that kind of made me angry at doctors. Because they were wrong. She's not coming over today to pick up the sugar booger, but God willing, she'll be here tomorrow. And then Charlotte will be able to go to Nana Pat's house and have some fun. But I'm hoping that if I do have this cardio stress test, that it'll be a positive thing. I'm going to have to look it up online and see what it all encompasses. And I need to see if the insurance covers it. Because I really don't want to spend $4,000 finding out, yep, you're healthy as a horse. You're kind of stupid for jumping rope 12 hours at a time, but maybe we should give you the card to this psychologist or psychiatrist. I said, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Think they'll let me videotape that? Probably not. So hopefully Yeah, maybe I should ask the doctors if I can videotape my stress test so that my beautiful milady can see me on the treadmill like Dr. Huxtable. I gotta find that episode. I'm sure that the Cosby Show has to be online somewhere. Maybe I'll take a look after I'm done jumping rope and see if I can find that episode where Dr. Huxtable does a little walking fancy on the treadmill. Don't know why that episode stuck in my brain, but maybe it's because I needed it for today. Another thing that struck me as quite interesting and miraculous, as there are no coincidences or only miracles. Yesterday, my mom came over and was looking for a measuring cup of sorts. So I was up on the chair, digging around in the high cupboards, and I found a measuring cup for her. And I also found a coffee mug, my coffee mug. It has a picture of the actor, the late actor, Brandon Lee on it, and the movie is called The Crow. Now, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Crow. It's kind of a tragic story because Brandon Lee died making that movie. You know, here he was in the absolute prime of his life, and he was struck down by an accident. You know, a lot of times I wonder if I'm on the same path as Bruce Lee, who died a long time before his time, and Brandon Lee, who was also supposedly died a long time before his time. But did they really die before their time? I don't think so. I think even though that their deaths are tragedies, it helped them show the world how important and how beautiful and how wonderful life is. Now, that's another message that I want to get across to my little one, is that life is so beautiful. And time is all you have. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to sit in front of a video game like your daddy used to do 12 hours a day? Are you going to sit in front of the TV and watch it 8 hours a day? Are you going to jump rope in the garage for 12 hours and hurt your ankles? I don't want my little one to make the same mistakes I did. This is one of the most amazing things that I've come to realize. Human beings, we have the chance to do something that we've never done before each and every day of our life. I mean, that is such an easy possibility. But how many human beings really take advantage of that? How many human beings make the most of that? How many human beings actually do that? Well, when my little one comes into the world, it'll be a long time before he gets to watch The Crow. But there was a quote in that movie: childhood is over the minute you find out you're gonna die. The bad guy in the movie had that quote. And as a very, very, very young child, I learned about death early. I don't remember exactly the parameters of what died, but I began contemplating death at a very, 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 very young age. And that, according to Top Dollar, who was the bad guy in The Crow, means that at 6 years old, my childhood was over. Ouch. That might explain a lot why I'm kind of acting childish in my later years to make up the lost time. But I'd really like to make sure that my little one writes a lot, and he has a notebook, or she has a notebook, where they write the one thing that they did that day that they never did before. Maybe it was dance on a a merry-go-round. Have I ever danced on a merry-go-round? I think I tried it, but my lady and I realized, you know what, this is probably kind of dangerous, and we don't want to fall down and break a hip because we're old people. I've never watered flowers in someone else's yard. That might get you arrested for trespassing, so don't do that. But the amount of possibilities are infinite. You gotta do something each and every day that you've never done before. Now, according to my little white timer, I am at about 2 minutes left. And that means it's gonna ring, and I'm gonna take a swig of my green Powerade over there, because I'm thirsty. And then, kind of like you don't know when your battery's gonna run out, I'll keep jumping rope until that little red light goes out. Cheers. All right. Now we'll just race to the finish. We'll go back to the beginning. And we'll finish strong until the little red light goes out. I'm guessing there's going to be about 18 minutes left of time. Now, there are no coincidences, there are only miracles. How wonderful would it be for this little alarm to ring and then the little light to go off? I don't know how much time I have. I don't. The people in this movie, in time, can look at their arm and know exactly how much time they have left in their life. And that really, really intrigues me. Because I think people would do things a lot different if they knew exactly how much time they had left to live. If I only had 1 day left to live, I think I'd take a shower and then pull out a video camera and leave a message of love for my little one. Now, I really, really believe with all my heart that my little one is going to be a girl, because I think that the powers that be, God, Grandpa Bob, and James and Becca, would love to see me pass on the imagination, the love, and the creativity that I have in my heart. And I think that if I had a little girl, I would focus on that more than if I had a little boy. Because, call me sexist, but I think men have responsibility. I think men have a responsibility to be men and to make sure that people that are not as strong as you are safe and warm. Now, that's my most sexist thing in the world, and my popularity with ladies may go down a little bit, but I've always wanted to take care of a lady. I've always wanted to take care of little ones. That's just what is in my heart. You know, what being a man is about, what being a father is about. Because my guess is that if my son got my gifts, chances are, sooner or later, it might take 40 years, but he's going to find the lady that's right for him. And I want him to be a good father and a good husband too. But I think love and imagination and creativity, those are things that boys and girls can understand. I don't think those are gender specific. In fact, I probably show a little bit more love than the standard typical guy does anyway, so I'm not ashamed of that. I like the fact that there's now fear in my heart. I know that's a random saying, because without fear in your heart, you really can't be brave. Well, now that I have a family of my own, there's definitely a lot more fear in my heart. And I can see with my own eyes and with my heart that there's more fear in my beautiful lady's heart. She doesn't want to lose me, you know. She's had a rough life, and right now, she told me she has everything that she wants and everything that she needs. And she's, of course, worried that that's all going to be snatched away. But I'm hoping that if something happens to me, that these memories that I make with my camera and with my pen and with my paper will keep her company until she decides that, yep, it's time to go visit his molecules. You can't be brave without fear in your heart. There's a lot of love in my heart, that's for sure. But you gotta have fear in there too if you want to do something brave each and every day. The sprint that I'm gonna do, that's gonna be brave. I think what I'll do, did I bring up? No, I did. I have a favorite song on a different CD that's almost 15 minutes long. And then I could sprint to that song, and maybe each time I do, I'll get a little bit further. And maybe someday I'll be able to sprint through the whole thing. Alright, I'm gonna count and see how many jumps I'm doing in a minute. Alright, we're almost coming to 3 minutes of the song, and go. 134, so 135 at the beginning and 134 towards the end. That's not too shabby. Another thing that I'm going to tell my little one is you need to learn to love music without words. As much as it might be fun to listen to Justin Timberlake sing about how he's bringing sexy back, yeah, those other fellas don't know how to act, yeah, something. Anytime I listen to music with words, I kind of suck up those words like a sponge. But whenever I listen to music without words, I kind of, I don't know, it's like sunshine. Sunshine on my brain, it makes things grow. Sunshine is good. I know it's getting late in life, but I'm hoping that my little one and I can learn how to play the piano together. How fun would that be? I remember taking piano lessons as a little kid and just hating my teacher so much. She made weird noises with her false teeth. Now this jump rope is going click, 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 click like a metronome. She used to make metronome noises with her false teeth. That's inhuman. Oh, I could not suffer. As a little child, I did not have infinite patience. Quite the opposite. Patience was something that I had to learn. And I think any parent can always use a little bit more patience. How wonderful it would be to learn the piano with my little one. Something tells me that'd be a lot of fun. Learning how to play the piano, that's something that I need to do. Alright, looks like 7 minutes are left on my white time. Let's try to pick it up. I watched the Olympics this year. I watched some really fast human beings run around the track. 28 miles an hour. That's how fast the fastest people in the world go. 28 miles an hour. I got a long way to go. What I could do for my sprint is doubles. That's where you jump and do 2 revolutions for each jump. That'd be something I could keep track of easily. Those get you tired big time. But the ceiling in here is a little low. There's a beam right above my head. And if I jump too high, I'll probably catch my jump rope on that beam. Alright, so it was a green day. Let's recap. I walked through the school with the little one, with the sugar booger. We played on the swings. We played on the slides. I worked on the balance beam quite a bit because my balance these days and my flexibility these days are terrible. That's a blue issue and it must be addressed. Then we walked home and I carried her on my shoulders because she's got little legs. So I spent a good time walking. Then I brought her inside and I decided to run to the video store. I did that. I found a lot of cigarette packets and a cigarette carton. I took back the bluest of the bluest movies of all time, Requiem for a Dream. I got a movie where there are green numbers on people's arms that lets them know how much time they have left to live, called In Time. It seemed kind of perfect. Green is the color of constitution and health, you know, and I think if everybody could do something every day to make sure that they live a little bit longer, they'd probably take it. My lady said that every time we go on a walk, she read somewhere that it adds 4 minutes to our lives. I also read somewhere that if you smoke a cigarette And there's a lot of cigarette packets behind that camera. It takes away several minutes of your life. It's much easier to smoke a cigarette. I think it only takes about a minute or two. Going on a half an hour walk, that takes a half an hour. But, oh my gosh, you would not believe how good walks with my lady are for my heart. When she's holding my hand, life is good. So then I ran back. And now I'm jumping rope. And last time I put my green camera on top of my TV, it recorded for 48 minutes and 35 seconds, I think. My guess is today it's going to record less because it has to suck up the sound effects of the music, the sound effects of the clicking top of the ticking clock. My camera is working harder today, and when it has to work harder, it's not going to live as long. That's one of my biggest fears is I can work so hard at whatever it is I'm doing. It's very possible that I'm going to burn my heart out long before I should. I think one of the important things, a breeze just came into the garage and it felt so good, is that I need to learn to slow down a little bit. Pace myself so that I can live a long, healthy and happy life and make sure I pass on what I learned to my little ones. If that means I gotta go in and take a test, so be it. I'd do anything for my lady. If that's what she wants, that's what she shall have. You know what I want for my birthday? I want a classic Nintendo system so I can play Battletoads. That's not very mature. But it is what it is. I'm pretty good at jumping rope. Not bad. I know people would probably be shocked and horrified if they saw a video of me jumping rope for 12 hours. But I think if I do it 45 minutes at a time, that won't be so bad. I know talking the entire time is probably good for my lungs and my heart. Kind of like dancing and singing at the same time. And I think as time goes on, I'll get better at saying what I have to say while I'm jumping. 47 minutes and 12 seconds. I think I got a minute left. So let's sprint for the finish. You know what? Let's put on the good music. Hopefully the clock doesn't run out. Alright, we'll turn it up a little bit. Play it.